How's everyone doing today? In today's video, I'm going to show you how I'm planting a tangelo tree that I grafted out front into some garbage dirt, but I'm going to change the dirt out with some forest floor dirt and mix it in with some sandy dirt that I have to increase the quality of where I'm planting this tree. And I'm going to show you the process of it. It's going to be a fun process. It's going to involve a lot of work. A lot of digging. I had to weed eat a path out into the woods today to get out there because it started overgrowing, and it was a fun process, and it was a lot of work. I'm tired today. Woo! All right, so today I decided to plant a tangelo tree I had, and this was going to be out front, but the ground is so sandy. I'm trying to dig up some better soil, so I'm going to show you guys what I do to get better dirt. And I'm going to try to fill up like a wheelbarrow or so. And this is really rich dirt. This is very clay / loamy. It has a lot of nutrients and buildup, and it's actually back in the wetland. I kind of cleared out an area with a weed eater today, you could see behind me. And I'm gonna get back in there and dig up some of the good stuff. So check it out. All right, here's the tangelo tree I'm gonna be planting out front. I've had this thing in a pot now for close to 3 years. And this one's been growing solid. It actually has probably, I don't know, 6 or so fruits on it. And I decided I want to plant some more citrus out front. And here's a picture of when this was originally grafted. And I'm going to walk over here, and you're going to see where I'm planting this. The ground is very sandy, and it just looks like garbage. It looks like construction dirt. Very much like I'm going to mix it with like concrete or something. Like it's of that quality. And I have another tree that I planted in this same dirt, and it's not doing as good as my other trees. So I decided to take an extra step today, a big extra step, and go back out into the woods and dig up the forest floor dirt out there to mix in. Now you can see when I walk into my backyard a little ways, the dirt turns more loamy. It goes from sand to loamy, and look at that. You can see just the color alone is just black. But this is very loamy. It's not full of clay, but I'm gonna walk to the very back of the yard now, and I'm gonna show you by the woods how it just turns into solid clay basically. It's malleable. Like I can make snowballs out of it. You can make a ball out of it and throw it at somebody. Like it's that malleable. It has that much clay in it. So my property goes from sand to loamy to clay, all in one shot. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. That would be very much appreciated. Now I'm going to be taking a walk through my orchard, all the way back into the woods where I'm mining this forest floor dirt. You can see I weed whacked all that today. And this is not between two ferns. This is between like 2,000 ferns, if you've ever seen that show. It's a silly show. There's some wild blackberries, which I had some today that are ripening, and they're absolutely delicious. Very sweet, juicy. But anyways, you can see here, there's like peat that also grows out in the woods, and this is really good for making potting soil. The clay, I try to limit that in the pots because in case we get a lot of rain, it can retain too much water and waterlog the pots, so I keep the clay soil to a minimum inside my potting mix. But that type of peat moss looking stuff is really good. This is the area that I'm going to be taking the dirt out of right here. This is kind of like a soup bowl, like a ravine, and it's usually swampy. We haven't had rain lately, so It's relatively dry, which is really good for doing what I'm doing today. All right, I just dug up a big old hole here in the ground. Now, it's not that big, but it is compacted. But it filled up a whole wheelbarrow. That's how compacted it was. And let me show you this stuff. Look at how rich this is. I gotta kind of get all the roots out, shake it off, but when I mix this in for planting that tangelo tree, it's gonna really make a difference. I have one tree out front, it's a Hamlin, and honestly it's the slowest growing, worst looking one out of all my citrus, and it's because it's in the sand, and I never really did something like this. Here's the Hamlin tree I'm talking about. It's buried in the front sand, and I did not amend the soil, and the tree is very light green. And in the back, I did add a bunch of stuff when I dug holes, even though the dirt was much better, but it really does make a difference. Check this out. If you dig deep enough down here, it's like pure clay. Look at this. I feel like I could make clay pots out of this, like stick it in a kiln, and you don't really need to do much else. I mean, this is, look at it. It almost looks like pure clay. Well, I do live in Clay County. I don't know if this is why they call it Clay County, because the majority of Clay County is sand, but boy, that's pure clay right there. I don't want too much of that. I don't mind if a little bit gets in, but the majority of this is just black, degraded, composted stuff from the forest floor. And this is an area where water collects when it rains. It kind of flows through and eventually makes its way out to the St. Johns River. So this is a really rich area here. And I've mined a little bit of soil here in the past. There's a little bit of a depression here, but this is very sustainable. I'm not worried about affecting the wildlife back here, the landscape. It all just fills back in and turns into the same stuff over time. Well, let me get back to getting this stuff out front. It's hard to believe I have over 100 videos and I still don't have a stand to hold my phone. I finally ordered one. I ordered a microphone, ordered a few things to help me out with this process. But anyways, here is some better topsoil. Doesn't really look like it, but it is slightly better quality than what's up front. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna mix a bunch of this stuff in here, kind of get these roots separated. It's very hard for me to do with one hand, but for demonstration purposes, I think it'll get the point across. So this is the left behind roots and stuff that's in the dirt. If you want to have very good productive trees, sometimes this is the stuff you got to do. It's either that or putting chemical fertilizers on it, but this stuff's no good. Kills the soil microbiome. Just for long term, it's not good. All right, the next ingredient. Yes, put this in there. Not too much, just one piece from the bread. throw a little char into stuff. Now this hasn't really been activated per se, but I don't think it's going to take away from it. It's definitely a heck of a lot better than it was over there. It's about ready to be dumped there. This is what it looks like now that I've mixed the forest floor dirt into this sandy dirt. It's much better. Try to get as much of the sticks and leaves out as possible. Little roots. Now all of this, I'm going to use this top dressing when I plant the tree. So this will kind of be like its mulch. Let me crumble this up. What the char does, I call it biochar. It takes a really long time to break down. Allegedly, this is what they say. They say some of the best dirt in the world is found in South America, where I think ancient cultures utilize biochar. And to this day, it still hasn't really broken down. So it holds a lot of microbiome. If you look in here, all the little cracks and fissures that form when this starts burning, it creates little houses. They say like I don't know, a cubic inch of this has like hundreds of feet of space for, or even thousands of feet, I'm sorry, of space for microbiomes to grow, bacteria, fungus. And it helps feed the tree and the plant. It just makes everything better. That's good enough. All right. I'm gonna go back up to the front. And get all this ready for the tree. All right, I'm gonna unpot this tangelo tree using the machete method. All right, kind of edge the side of the pot to help loosen it up. That way when I grab the tree, it just comes right out. Look at that. Now this is after adding the whole wheelbarrow of that mixed forest floor dirt into the ground. And I raise the tree up slightly. You can see where it's at. It's kind of it's next to a big sago palm there. And it's going to get pretty good summer sun. I'm kind of following the path of the sun there. Here's the leftover roots and bigger sticks and stuff from the forest floor dirt. And I'm using that as top dressing. And I mix the rest of the native dirt on top first after I dump the wheelbarrow of mixed dirt in there. So that's why it looks all lightened up again, but you can see the contrast in color. This forest floor dirt is just so dark and rich. So this will be mulch layer number 1. And then coming up, I'm gonna get some wood bark and finish mulching it. Here's the fun part, watering it, and I love watering trees. All right, here's where I throw all of my chunks of wood. I let it rot down. It's got a lot of bark and stuff in it, but this is what I'm going to use for mulch for a new tree. Just got to throw some of this material in here and just chomp it up a little bit with a shovel. And this has been sitting for a little while now, so it's pretty good. And it's come from the burn pit, so it does have some char on it as well. Give it a little bit of that biochar effect. All right, I think I got enough wood chunks here. A bunch of bark and rotting wood. Go ahead and put this on top of the tangelo tree as mulch. Throw this back in here to let this continue rotting away. All right, here's the finished product. Hope everybody enjoyed today's video. You can see this is mulched, watered in. See a few fruits there. Got one low branch here with a fruit on it. Today was a lot of work, a lot of fun. Hope you all enjoyed watching me in this process. Here's some of my other plants. Here's the next plant I'm going to be planting out soon. That's a Valencia orange. That's air grafted. Y'all have a wonderful day and enjoy the music that I wrote and played drums to. Take care.